point. Dub C had a good question. Silverstruck, your thoughts about vintage 100-ounce bars?
That's another good one. Thoughts on vintage 100 ounce? The larger the bar, the least the premium I've noticed. So if you take one that I can't remember when Dub C came in. If you saw the first series 100 ouncer here that I have from Engelhard, my only first series on the table, uh, that was bought at generic pricing years ago. If you're interested in vintage silver, but you're a little bit afraid of the premiums. You're just not wanting to pay the premiums. Your larger bars are easier to get into. 20 ounce, 50 ounce, 100-ounce bars typically carry less of a premium and are just traded for silver content for a large bit of it. Not nearly as liquid peer to peer though, so you got to be careful of that. But some of these, I've noticed some of these 3-ounce Engelhard bars will sell for a couple $1,000s now. You're getting pretty darn close to 100 ounces of silver for some of these premiums that are out there. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend stacking a lot of vintage 100 ounces, but it can't hurt if you have the wallet for it and you want to avoid premiums.
Mm-hmm.
I came across that bar that you recently had with the mushroom on it. I saw it on puremetals.com, and then I actually saw one yesterday at the coin show, and I
Mm-hmm.
almost bought it, but I was like, no, I can't do it. I think
Well,
on Pure Metals they wanted 400, 450 maybe. And last I looked, it wasn't on there, so somebody must have snatched it up pretty quick.
it's a great bar to look out for. It's not. I would not say that it's rare. I would say scarce. So level down from rare. Um, and it kind of crosses over to there's another category of silver that isn't necessarily vintage yet, which is your discontinued silver. And that's another category of collecting that you're basically putting silver away that will be vintage if it's not already. And OPM, uh, having finished up in, geez, I can't remember now. I think it's 2010. Did they finished up? So fairly recently, maybe it was later on. Sometimes I have to refer back to notes before I do a video because there's a lot to cover to get all the facts correct. That's a good one to look out for a refiner that's not around anymore but had produced silver into the 2000s, along with Northwest Territorial Mint. There's another one that I happen to be fond of. That some of their older stuff is vintage, but all their silver and gold is now discontinued because they're no longer in business anymore. So discontinued silver is another fun category, and someday it will be vintage. There you go. Yeah, Northwest Territorial's mint right there. Yeah,
Oh,
so
she's
that's one of their
upside
standard.
down.
Yeah,
I was standing on my head. That's why I was upside down.
so that's one of their standard production bars. They had a couple different standard production bars.
Yeah, I got that one at the Vegas Coin Show in May. No, yeah, May. Was it May? March? No, February.
February, I think February.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what the hell was in May. I did have something in May.
This coin show they had, the one I went to yesterday, it was the biggest one I've seen them have out here. It was wall to wall tables, which they never had. Like they have the one wall on the left side that was usually empty, and that left side area usually wasn't that busy. That
Yes.
was full. All the way back was full. It was wall to wall people. It was pretty crazy. And I
Yeah.
did not see the Duke of Fremont there neither.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were the people that sell the uniforms there?
I did not see them either.
Interesting. Hey, I got a question for you, Mr. Silverstruck.
Sure.
Are these Silver Monarchs, are they considered vintage at all? Or
I'm not as familiar with those. I try lately. I've been trying to stick with more the Engelhard and Johnson Matthey, the better known refiners. So I'd have to do some research to tell you on that one for sure.
yeah, they're just a kind of cool looking high relief piece. I mean, I would have bought it anyway because the price was right. But I got it at the fun show in January.
Do you guys collect any of the Norfed rounds or no?
I don't know.
That's another one to look out for, the Norfeds.
Not familiar with those.
they're monetized rounds. The gentleman who came up with that monetized silver ended up doing some jail time, got in big trouble for it, and so obviously it's discontinued. And he made a whole bunch of different denominations: $20 piece, $10 piece, $5 piece, and several state ones. There's one for New Hampshire. I've seen it once for big premium, so I haven't picked that up. The Norfed story, really interesting if you look into it. And that's another example of discontinued silver. That's many of them are dated, and then they're all monetized. So don't do that if you're pouring silver.
Don't date and monetize your
Yeah.
pours.
Yeah, you'll get a phone call very quickly.
Was that who did a video on that? Oh, Dub C, didn't he?
Dub C has a lot of videos. I wouldn't be surprised if he's covered it. It's there's been several videos on the Norfeds, but it's kind of in the little corner of silver stacking. It's not widely talked about.
Right. It was a product that was monetized, and it's still not in the money. Right? Is that the one?
Well, you can't put US dollar on something and monetize it yourself with US currency. So that's what he did.
And wasn't it kind of more like he guaranteed to pay? It's kind of like a buyback in a sense, though, wasn't it?
It was a misguided attempt at what I would now call maybe a gold back. Where your gold backs aren't monetized, but the whole point to them is you're trading on the gold value of the dollar, so it's literally a gold dollar. Gotcha. So if you just simply didn't put a US dollar amount on there, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
Speaking of gold backs, thoughts?
Really, here's some thoughts on gold backs. Incredibly fractional. If you run the math backwards, we all know that it's going to cost you $6,000 an ounce to collect, or more at this point, to collect a full ounce of just gold backs. So I look at it again, like I do with the collector eye. If you go and you'll notice the gold backs are dated, and there's new series that come out for different states. And so I have some of the early series. The first issued date for New Hampshire, which is escaping me right now. I think it might have been 22, but I might get that wrong. And some of the other states that they're there. So if you have an early series gold back, it's highly collectible. So again, with the collector market, as far as monetizing something like a gold back, I've never successfully purchased anything with a gold back, nor would I attempt to at this point.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's either hit or miss with gold backs. We've had quite a few discussions on here, and Silver State is real big on the gold backs and real knowledgeable on them, and they're interesting. It's an interesting idea and principle behind them.
There's a New Hampshire right there. What date do you have, Blue Collar?
Good question. Oh, Jesus, my eyes. Oh, this is a 23.
23, yeah.
Yeah.
So I collected a complete set of New Hampshires and a complete set of some of the other states. I forget exactly how many states I have, but then I stopped because obviously it's expensive to do so, and my collecting dollars have gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
Not to mention the checks for my kids' colleges. That doesn't help.
Yeah, that'll get you every time.
That's it. Yeah.
Our kids did really well in school, and they got a lot of scholarship money and stuff like that. So we really didn't have too bad of expenses. We paid the rent once in a while, but the kids worked too, and the kids saved. My kids, we've been so blessed. My kids are savers.
Good.
And I can't complain. I really can't.
Now, there's one piece of silver that has been bugging me, and it's on your channel, Vegas. In the center, underneath a round, is that a USSC bar that you have there?
This one?
Nope, further up. It was right under the round you just moved.
This one?
Next one over.
This one?
Yeah. There it is. That has to be USSC.
Yes, I think we showed this. on Monday night. If it'll
Which
focus.
one's okay? That's a Swiss bar. All right. It just looked an awful lot like United States Silver Corp. So I was just seeing.
EHISAers?
Yeah, it's more modern, I believe, on that one. But I don't know. It just had the same obverse look that a USSU bar has.
CHISA made in Switzerland. I just thought I wasn't even sure if it was vintage or not when I picked it up. Actually, it says 1973. If I can get it.
Right on the obverse, right? Yeah, 1973. Vintage for sure.
No, absolutely. So, one question I have, and we asked Coin Sense and Nonsense, and everybody's got different opinions on these things, but I'm trying to find one that is a good example. Where they, like, say 2 rounds have the same front side or reverse side, and then they have different on the back. What's the deal with that? And especially in these vintage rounds.
Yeah, you have several refiners collaborating. I think one of the best examples of that happens to be the Liberty bars in rounds that were made by Engelhard, Johnson Matthey, and Metal Analytics all at the same time in different years. They use the same, in some cases, the same reverse with their own stamp. So you'll see an E for Engelhard, or an example here. Actually, I happen to have one. This guy right here is an Engelhard, and the only way you would know is when you flip it over, you have a E right here. So that is an Engelhard press bar, serialized, but a similar bar was made with the exact same reverse for Johnson Matthey and Metal Arts. So that does happen from time to time. Why it occurred back then, I'm not sure, but it's definitely one of those, reoccurring themes on certain pieces of silver. And for me, it reoccurs quite a bit on the Liberty bars.
Yeah.
So it was on the Liberty rounds. I think the ones you were showing.
So here's one. This one you can see is a Johnson Matthey. See the JM hammer logo at the bottom. So same exact bar. This one's an OP that's kind of wrecked actually, but still in the OP Liberty bar. You can also find those in the same refiners I was mentioning. So it's interesting, but I couldn't tell you a reason why.
Yeah, I was wondered maybe it was something to do with like somebody designed it. Like this is one that you see quite often. Let me just whip this up here. All right, so you see this one a lot, but it's got different reverses.
Yep, World Trade Units. Yeah,
and then on the backside is totally different.
That's all part of the fun in collecting.
Oh
yeah, I have to collect all the different ones you can find.
Exactly.
Yeah, why not? That's another reason I tried to get away from vintage too, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of like where I got this one, now I need this one and this one and this one and this one. I feel like it could be distracting. It's part of the
fun, though.
It can be. It depends. It really just depends on whether you enjoy it or not. If you don't enjoy it, stack differently for sure. But if it's something you look forward to and it keeps you motivated to get the next thing, it does become stressful if you are way into a set and you need 1 or 2 pieces and those pieces are super premium and you have to really, dig to get them and pay a lot of money. That's not as fun as if you can just simply find them for reasonable pricing.
More great info from Silver Struck. Keep an eye out, though, for part 10 coming soon.